Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is another video on Web Client SDK. Till now we have covered how to connect to Content Hub server using Web Client SDK and how to fetch particular assets by entity ID and how to read property relation and what is the use of load configuration. Taking that to step further, in this video we are going to look at how we can fetch more assets by passing different filters, and how we can pass multiple filters as well. Let's get started. I did restructure our solution a bit. I made it a typical console application, like a couple of options. So based on the option selected, respective functionality would be executed. Let's quickly run it. So in the meantime, I'll just pick up the ID here. Yeah, because we need this ID to execute 29496. We're just making sure that first option, like which are already implemented and looked at, that will execute fine. So yeah, I wrote it a couple of options here, like fetch asset file name by entity ID. This one we already saw in previous video. And next options are like you pass entity definition or by title or asset type. Let's quickly execute first option. So I did 29496, so please input entity ID. I did input, so it should display me the file name. Yeah, so entity definition. So for this entity, what is entity definition? It is m.asset. File name is healthfulpresentation.jpg. So let's quickly execute the second option. I'll show you the code. So asset by entity definition. So we want to fetch assets from masset. This is the entity definition. Kind of a template in Sitecore terms. So m.asset. So it will fetch us all the assets from the m.asset. So focus on the numbers here. Total number of entities of m.asset is 223. But what are the fetched? How many did fetch on this call is 50, and offset is how many it skipped. It skipped 0. And try to output file name for all the 10. I'll tell you why it is empty and what is other things, but focus on the number here, 223. Okay, just let me exclude. Yeah. So now let's see the code. Case 1, which we already seen. So we are inputting the entity ID and just try parse and get asset by ID and reading and showing it, which you already seen yesterday or previous video. And second option is a new one which we are trying to execute. So assets by entity definition. As I said before, entity definition is kind of a template in Sitecore, and entities are kind of items of based on that entity definition. So here we are trying to fetch items from one template. Similarly, like fetch all the entities from one entity definition. So in this place, we are focusing mainly on m.asset entity definition. So let's go to this. Okay. Also, I made another asset service class, and I just put all the methods, individual functionalities. So get asset by ID, which you already seen yesterday. So this is good. Now let's see in the next piece is get assets by definition. So definition name. We are passing obviously m.asset and we are fetching. Observe here. Observe here. If you, as I said before, like if we are sure that there is only one item is going to retrieve from this filter, then only we use single async. If we know that there might be more results, then next is query async. So we use a query async. This will give us a identity query result, and identity query result have certain properties like total number of results and items contains all the entities, and offset, like how many we skipped and taken, that kind of functionality. Now you see here query async. What is the number we got? We got around number is 223. Let's quickly go and check in Content Hub that is the number is matching. Let's go here. Okay, I already logged in. Just go to assets. Okay, let it load, that's fine. But you see the number here, it is telling 169. So this is the asset page, we are getting 169, but why did we get the result for 223 records? So let's dig further. How we know that why 223 records? So this is a kind of a end user view for in the system. But there is also technical view of entities in the system. So let's go there, which is called Entity Manager. Let's go and see like how many entities is the number is matching there or not. So I'm going to manage section. It's slow, and click on entities. So again, as we discussed before, like all of them are like entity definitions here. Then if you go to m.asset, let's click on this. Then we would have all the items loaded, all the entities. So which is having around 223. So this number matches for whatever the query we did. And okay, now what is the catch? Why I'm not okay? What way I can filter? What all the assets are showing here? I only want all these assets only. So for that, we have something called content repository to asset. Let me just quickly add that. So that's fine. Let me delete this. I'll tell you in a moment about this parent and all. Just hang on for a moment. So we are telling content repository to asset equal to we need that number. So what is the content repository to asset is? This is a system field. Based on to which part of the Content Hub we are uploading that asset, this will have the value. So if we are uploading the assets to Content Hub Digital Asset Management, which is a TAM, then the value would be standard. So we want to filter based on that. Then only we would be able to fetch what is the number here. And again, final life cycle also is there. Like final life cycle is, these are all approved assets. What if there are created assets and reviewed? So assets which are still in review. But anyway, currently there are no create or review assets in this system, in this sandbox. There are only like approved assets in the DAM part of it. So that is the reason we need to mention this. Let me just quickly go here and get the number. What is that? If you remember, like we need to get the actual ID. We cannot put standard. So it is 734. So go back here, 734. Let me quickly save it and run and check now how many assets we are going to get. So the file names which are shown empty, like I'm just displaying first 10 records file names, but it was showing empty for some of the, because there are different assets. So if you select second option and give m.asset, it would fetch us the records, and let's see the number. Voila. So we got the number matching 169. So we have 169 items here, and number of entries fetched 50. I'll tell about this in a moment. And list of top 10 results, like order by default order. So we are getting all the file names of top 10 records. So in this way we can fetch all the assets. Now this is a sandbox and there are like hardly minimum number of records, but otherwise if you have in a real-time environment, there will be thousands of thousands of records would be there. So let's just enter. Now let me talk about a moment about why it is telling it can only fetch 50 records. So whatever we are using query async. So query async has three properties, as I was telling. So query async results into iEntity query result. This has three properties, which is total number of results. So this gives us how many records are there matching this criteria, matching the filter which you have sent. So that is the total number of results. Items.count. So this is the interesting piece. It will not fetch all the items. If it is 10,000 or 20,000, it will not fetch all the items. It will only fetch like minimal number of, like default is 50 records it will fetch. Why? Because it will be a heavy load. We need to implement iterator or scroller, which I will discuss in a later next video. But in this, you need not get all the records. If it suppose it matches only like 10 records, you would get all the 10 records. But if it is matching more number of records, it will not fetch all of them. It will only fetch certain number of records. And again, we can mention that skip and take also into the query itself directly. If you can if you mention like take, just put it here, query dot take equal to, I can pass maybe 150. So let me quickly run. So it will let it load. Second, m.asset. So notice here 169 total number, but this number of entities we said to the system that we passed in the query that take 150 records. So that's why it fetched 150. This order, I'm only listing 10. I didn't want to show like 150 records here. So in this way we can do it, but query async will only fetch certain number of records. So we need to implement scroller or iterator, as I said, like, which I will explain in the next video. Let me go to next option. So title. Let me use title of this only. Sorry. So we are seeing third option, 3. Please input title. I'm typing. It will tell how many records matched with this. So it says total number of entities with title health full presentation is 1. Again, number of, obviously it is 1. It fetched 1, and list of top 10 result is obviously 1 only. So let me close this. So the title, let's just quickly check the query. So this is an example I wanted to show, like how we test based on the property. So entities, this is again, I'm just putting definition name, want to filter out only that assets, and e.property and title. So you are passing a title here, e.property. So this is the way we can query on the property values. So you can pass in also like multiple values Even for IDs also we can pass in parameters and pass, but we will be able to match multiple records. And also we can do a number of operations like contains or all these things. So title, there are a lot of ways we can query on the using the string values. Even we can query on the date fields and everything. So we can pass a date field and date values and all. This is a simple example of title field. So let me just go to next option. So again, there is nothing much difference here. This is just a same way, just calling and fetching the results. So let me select fourth option, but for this I need as we are querying on the asset type ID. So let me just go to asset type. So they were telling product asset, and we are asking like 29475. We are asking the system that, or we are filtering based on the asset type and fetch all the product assets. So we need this ID to pass. So let's enter. Let's see how many records are there for this asset type, I mean product assets. Okay, so we got 28 assets, and I mean obviously this is 28 assets, so it fetched all the 28 assets. And file name. So what all this is, top 10 I am listing out. So let's quickly jump into the code. So these are all very straightforward queries. So again similar m.asset, and just a difference is here we do e.property, but whereas here we do e.parent and asset type ID. There is a little bit discussion, I mean little bit explanation is required, why e.parent, why it's not child or anything. So if you notice here, okay, just here, yeah, notice here what it is telling, relations asset type to asset, it is a parent. So asset type is a parent and asset is a child. That's the reason we are querying on the e.parent. Similar case with the content repository to asset as well. Content repository is the parent and mapping is provided to asset, which is a parent. That's the reason. And there is also convention is used in the system, as well as when we create our own relations, custom ones and properties, we use this kind of conventions. So anytime if you want to know directly from the title, I mean directly from the name itself, relation name, you see content repository. Parent would be always first, then to asset. Asset is a child here. So content repository to asset. Same goes here, asset type. First one is asset type. So the asset type is a parent, parent to child, parent to asset. So this is the easiest way for us to understand. Even if we are building the custom ones, we would follow these conventions. Much easier to understand. So here we are getting asset type ID and passing the value, and we are fetching the asset type. So this is a quick explanation about all the ways we can pass the filters. So content repository, we passed a relation, we passed a property, and we combined with definition. So that's a kind of a multiple filters, and we passed on the asset type as well. And query async, we get the three kind of a total number of results and actual results and the offset. So in the next video we would look at how we can fetch all the I mean if it is 169, I want to fetch all the 169 records and do some processing around. Hang in here, like I'm just trying to explain the basic functionalities of this, then we can see the real world implementations, like how and where, when and which scenarios we use all these things. So that's all for this video. Thank you for watching.